further ado, here is Nate Harris.
I'm not on one. Oh, I'm on now. I like how you didn't say thank you to me.
Oh,
I didn't have to.
Thank you, great
I'm
Nate.
just playing. Let me get set up. How's everybody doing today, Peace Chapel? I need some energy for y'all, because this is my first time stepping out speaking in front of a church. So I need to feed off of you guys. So I need you guys to say, how we doing today, Peace Chapel? Good. I love it. I'm referring to my notes often. But first, this whole week, everybody's been telling me, Nate, just let go and let God. God will bring the words to you and the things that you should say. And so I'm here to tell you, if y'all don't like this message, don't blame me. Blame God. You want to say it, all right? No, but seriously though, first I want to thank you guys here at Peace Chapel. Ever since the day I stepped foot in here, you guys have loved me, you guys have uplifted me, and you guys have seen a greatness in me that I couldn't even see inside of myself. So I do want to thank you guys. I'm honored to be here. Secondly, I want to thank Pastor Fitz for this opportunity. It says a lot about him as a leader here at our church to hand over the keys of his church to a 25-year-old, and he knows me personally, so he knows my struggles when it comes to my faith. And so it says a lot about his leadership. And lastly, I want to thank God. And I want to thank God because God knows my journey. No one really knows your journey except God as you go through it with Him. But the last 2 to 3 years have been an up and down roller coaster for me. And literally, I would not be on the stage if it was not for God. So I want to make sure I glorify Him first and foremost. See, look, I even got my towel. I'm ready, y'all. Hey, I'm ready. But as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk to you guys about and what message I wanted to deliver, like I said, God has been blessing me in so many ways this past month especially. He's just throwing so many blessings at me. I don't even know how to handle these blessings at times. And so I'm like, there's so many different angles. I could talk to him about different things, but he just told me, just talk to him about who you are and do exactly what I called you to do. And I personally believe that God has called me to inspire and motivate people, right? But more importantly, I've learned that there's a lot of people who don't believe that they deserve to live a fruitful life. Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't believe that they deserve nice things like a nice car or a nice house or even have the ability to open up a nice business or have a corporation or to have a happy and a peaceful marriage. Like some people truly don't believe that they even deserve that, and they have that mindset of, oh, that's just not for me. That's just not for me. We can travel the world, we can do all these different things. And so my goal in life is to let these people know and help them understand, and primarily people of our communities, understand that we can get anything we want. Any life we want, we can live whatever we want. But the only way we can get there is through a concept called self-discipline. And I was blessed with the gift of self-discipline as a kid. And I call it a gift because I don't believe self-discipline is something that you're born with, right? It's not in our DNA. Self-discipline is something that you can develop and you can grow on and you can become better at. But as a child, I understood that there was nothing that I can do in life that I can accomplish without adding enormous amounts of self-discipline. I knew that from a young age, right? And so one of my favorite quotes is, "We all must suffer," from Jim Rohn, motivational speaker, book writer, but he says we must all suffer from one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons.
Wow. Yeah, that's good.
Think about that, because I don't even need to, you guys looking for me? So look, I don't need to break down this quote for you guys to understand what's going on here in this quote, okay? Like, everyone knows discipline isn't something that's easy, but everybody knows that discipline is way, way easier than regret. We'd rather go through discipline than have to go through regret, right? But see, the scary part about discipline is that we never know that what situation that we choose to not be disciplined in is going to result in a situation that we're going to feel regretful in, okay? We don't know when that regret is going to come. I remember back when I was in college, and like I said, I have always been a very disciplined individual. In 8th grade, I decided I wanted to be a Division I college football player, and I dedicated my life to it. And so when I remember back in college, going into my second season, and I was, the position was wide open for me. Tremaine Johnson just graduated. He got drafted by the St. Louis Rams. We had a lot of other seniors who just left. And so the position was wide open for me for the taking. All I had to do was walk in the path, be disciplined, work hard, and the position was mine. I had the opportunity to start for 4 years at a Division I college. 4 years, okay? As fall camp came around that year, for those who don't know, fall camp is a period before the season where you're training all day long. You're up at 6 a.m., breakfast is at 7, meetings are at 8, practice is at 9, then it's back to meetings, back to lunch, and it's literally all day long until 11 p.m. at night. 7 days a week, no days off. For the full month of August, right? No, I wasn't going to church at that time, okay? I was missing church. But it was work. To make a long story short, I ended up winning the position that year, and I was deemed the starting cornerback for the University of Montana Grizzlies for the 2012 season. But every year, that Saturday, a week before our first game, we have this thing we call the Great Grizz Encounter. And at the Great Grizz Encounter, it's an exciting time because it's like the kickoff for the new season. Our friends come out, our family comes out, our fans come out, and we sign autographs, right? But not only are they excited, we're really excited because this is the first day, it's off. This is the mark that fall camp is over with, the season is started, and we finally have a day off as athletes. Amen. Okay? So what do college football players do as athletes? We decide that we want to drink some alcohol before we go to the Great Grizz Encounter. And that was so against who I was as a person. That was so against my character. That summer, I didn't drink any alcohol because I knew I wanted to be the starting quarterback for the Grizzlies. So I wasn't even drinking alcohol, but we decided to drink alcohol. This is time to relax, celebrate. That's the time, right? So I didn't do anything inappropriately. I didn't do anything out the ordinary. I just was being Nate. I would talk a little bit louder and I talked a little bit more. And so Wynn got back to my coaches that Nate was drinking that day. And that next Monday, which was now game week, I got called into the office by my head coach and said, "Hey Nate, come talk to me real quick." So I went and I talked to him, and to make a long story short, he sat there and he told me, "Nate, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm going to have to suspend you for this game on Saturday." Everything in my life at that moment shattered. I remember calling my dad, and I'm crying, and I told him, he started laughing. He started laughing because he understood the lesson I was going to learn at that moment. But not only did this shatter my life, not only that, everything that I've been working for my whole entire life since I was in 8th grade came to this one moment, this one decision, all taken away from me. Wow. Not only was that my first game playing college football, that was also going to be on my birthday. That Saturday, September 2nd. Wow. Also, my mother had already bought tickets to fly up there to see her son play his first ever college football game. Non-refundable, it was Allegiant. Wow. That Saturday, I sat in the stands and I watched my team play as I watched from the sidelines. All because I had a lack of discipline. And see, that's why this is so important, because I can be as disciplined as I want to be, but the second I decide to say, "Oh, I can take a break right now, I can ease up right now," is the second, like we like to say, the devil wants to come and get us. I didn't win my position back until about 9 weeks into the season, and it worked out, and it made me a better man and a better person, but that's what we're up against. Discipline is literally the cornerstone. Did you have my picture up there? Yeah, that was on the newspaper, by the way. Front newspaper. Now I got, and then they didn't even put the details, so now I got to answer, well, Nick, why was you suspended? It was a terrible situation. But discipline, literally, guys, is the cornerstone of all of our successes and all of our failures. All of our problems, everything is rooted in discipline. Every single day. We have a choice to make. Every single day. All of our choices mean something. And it may be small, they may be big. Every decision we make has an effect to it. Come on, teach, man. So we have to be conscious of the decisions that we're making. But what is discipline, Nate? What are you talking about? What is self-discipline? Self-discipline, by definition, I got it from Google, so who knows how right it is. But self-discipline is the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite the temptation to abandon it. Let me read that again. The ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite the temptation to abandon it. So, to me, discipline is when you're up late at night and your favorite Netflix show is on, or the baseball game is on, or highlights are on, or you want to watch YouTube, or your friends want to go out, but you got to be at work at 7 in the morning. Discipline is saying, "No, I got to get to bed. I got to wake up and get to work in the morning." Or Or I got a big meeting in the morning. But what we do, we say, oh no, I'll be okay. I can do 30 more minutes. I can do 30 more minutes. And then we wake up cranky. And then since we wake up cranky, then we get to work late. Since we get to work late, now the client is frustrated. Now the client is frustrated, now we can't get the deal. Now we can't get the deal, and now you're blaming everything in the world, but it's all because you just wasn't disciplined last night. Just take your butt to bed.
That's right. That's it. Come on, the teacher.
Discipline is saying no to your friends when they want to go out to eat, and go out to party every single weekend. Discipline is saying no, I can't do it because I don't have the money I can't afford that. I got bills to pay. I have a car payment to pay.
That's right.
I have diapers to pay for. I got rent to pay for. But we scared of missing out. So we want to be there. Or we don't want to be that person. It seems like we don't have money to afford that. So you go and you swipe your credit card, and then at the end of the month you're actually paying more because now the interest rates can hit you. Wow. But you're mad, cussing the credit card company out. Why did they tell me that the interest rate is 24%? But it's like you weren't disciplined enough to read the fine print. They told you when they gave you the card. Read the paperwork, but you weren't disciplined enough.
Come on, talk.
Discipline is when you're trying to lose weight and...
Oh! Talk back.
When you're trying to lose weight and every day you go into work and there's a fresh box of Krispy Kreme donuts on the table, discipline is saying, no! Listen, I'm addicted to candy. I eat candy every single night. That is my weakness, okay? That's my weakness, and I know that it's going to mess up my teeth. But discipline is saying, no, I got to do better than this. I have to say no to this.
Eat some zucchini.
But I want the Krispy Kreme donuts too, so I'm not judging. Listen. Ladies, I know he's so fine. I know he light skinned, he got tattoos all over his body, his bank account is big, got a nice car, looks like Chris Brown, but also acts like Chris Brown, and will treat you like Chris Brown.
Say that.
Discipline is saying, no, I know my word.
Yes, sir.
They tell y'all to get a man in church. I'm still single. Nah. Man, y'all thought y'all was off the hook, huh? Man, discipline is when you have a beautiful wife at home, you have a beautiful girlfriend at home, and she held you down, and she's loyal to you, and she's brought you up when you had nothing, and she gave you money when you had nothing. And she made you feel important when you felt like you had nothing. Discipline is when you're in a club with your boys, and your boys are encouraging you to cheat on your woman. And the bottom service girl, she has the curls, her edges is done perfectly and right. She's beautiful. And she whispers into your ear because it's loud in the club about what she'll do to you, and nobody heard. Discipline is saying, no, I have something better at home.
That's right. Amen. Come on, speak.
I remember when Nipsey Hussle was about, before he passed away, 6 months prior to him passing away, he stopped smoking marijuana. And he stopped smoking marijuana because Nipsey was stepping into a different section of individuals. He's sitting down with Gary V's in a different level of success, and so he knew I had to be alert. Discipline is saying, I can't smoke this weed right now because I'm in a whole different level. I gotta be alert. I gotta be ready right now. That's discipline. And what does the Bible say about discipline? Hebrews 12:11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. No discipline seems pleasant at the time. None of this seems pleasant. Nobody wants to turn off the Netflix. Yeah, I want to eat the donuts. We want the beautiful woman. Like, none of it seems pleasant. But we all have exercised discipline in some capacity. Like, we've all been to a place where the donut is right here. You say, you know what? I'm not going to eat that donut. And you walk away, and the next day you feel so much better than what that donut would have tasted like. We all know that feeling, and so why don't we act upon that all the time? We know, like, you can't plant a seed today and it harvest tomorrow. You can't conceive a baby today and the baby to be born tomorrow. Why do we think we can start a business today and be successful tomorrow?
Come on and talk.
It takes time. But I know a lot of people are afraid of discipline. And like, Nate, I'm just weak. I don't know how to be disciplined. That's just not who I am. It's not in my DNA. And I get it. And I'm not trying to be up here trying to act like I'm just a perfect, I'm not disciplined in so many areas of my life. And I hate when I'm watching a video and there's like a millionaire on stage and they're talking about how easy it is to make money and they're making you feel like it's so easy and you're looking at them like, well, shit, it's easy for you to say. So I'm not trying to act like discipline is easy. Discipline is not something hard. That's easy. It's very difficult. But in 2 Timothy 1:7, it says, for the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but it gives us power, love, and self-discipline.
That's right.
First, let me stop on spirit real quick. Because I think at times we think that we are bodies that come with a spirit. We are spirits that come with a body that holds our spirit inside of us.
That's right.
Okay? In James 2:26 it says, as a body without the spirit is dead. Most of the time when we're in a place where we're being undisciplined, it's external things of the flesh. They're not inside of us. Okay? So God has already given us the spirit. Every person in this room has the spirit of self-discipline. But at the same time, it also says it gives us the power of love. Everybody in this room has the spirit of love as well. But we all don't exercise love.
Say that. Come on, man.
So my question is, when you can't be self-disciplined, when you can't discipline yourself, and you think that that's not who you are, what is your relationship with God? Because I know when I was out there drinking alcohol in front of little kids and grown fans, think about how ignorant that sounds. Getting drunk before you're going to see some babies and kids who want to sign autographs. For what, baby? But if I was connected with the Spirit,
That's right. Come on.
if I was connected with God at that time, I'm sure He would have gave me a buck. You know, have you ever been to a situation where you felt off, you've done something you knew you shouldn't have done, and then your spirit just feels off? That's when you're connected to the Spirit. So when you're in a place where you're not doing things in a disciplined manner, your spirit will be messed up. God's going to remind you, and you're not going to want to do that anymore.
I'm talking.
Come on. Bless him, Lord.
Why is this important? I gotta hurry up. Why are you trying to keep me on the stage? Why is it important? Discipline is freedom. And the reason why I say it's freedom, I actually created that myself. But it's freedom because you actually have control over your life. And I can literally talk about discipline all day for you guys, so I'll try to break it down real quick. But literally, you have control over every aspect of your life when you're disciplined.
Right.
Do you ever feel a time where you feel like you're not in control of your friends? Your friends have control over you, your parents have control over you, your boss, your managers, everyone around you has control over you. Discipline. When my supervisor comes out and sees Nate, he stopped coming to see me because I was so ahead of the game than everybody else was. So now that's a worry-free situation now. I just have to go to work. Because he knows Nate's going to handle his business. It's freedom. 2, it helps you get things done. Once you create discipline, it'll help you motivate you to create another discipline. Okay? So if you decide I'm going to start waking up earlier to make my bed, after you make your bed, it will naturally motivate you to now pray. It will naturally motivate you to now read your Bible. So it helps you do that. Also, it helps you focus. In a world full of distractions, and a lot of us, we're in an instant gratification type of period right now, especially with our phones. And I just encourage you, be disciplined with your phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And instead of being on social media and looking at the wrong things, be on social media and look at the positive things. There's so much information and knowledge in the world. We all have access to all of it. All the information we need to do whatever we want in this world, we have access on our phones. All we have to do is apply discipline to all the knowledge that's out there. Instead of watching twerk videos, we gotta watch educational videos. How to invest our money. 3, it helps you focus. 4, it boosts your esteem and your work ethic. When you're disciplined, and my friends can attest to this, when you're disciplined, I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. Like, I know my family on my mom's side, we have so many different family members and kids coming up, and so we're going out to eat every single Sunday. Every weekend, we're going out somewhere to eat. But I don't eat out. They're not getting my money. And so something that I would do is I will eat before I go out to eat. So now when I'm out, I don't have to spend my money. I'm stubborn like that.
Wow.
And people will be angry with you, but you have to be stubborn with your disciplines.
Amen.
And that goes back to the freedom part. 5, it helps you achieve mastery. I don't know what number I'm on, but it helps you achieve mastery. You know, if you look at these athletes like LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, you know, they're literally disciplined individuals, and they've mastered their craft. It takes hours and hours and hours to do this. So whatever you want to do in life, whatever you want to master, you have to apply discipline first. Discipline enough to be able to wake up and do it every single day, over and over and over again, and it ultimately will lead you to mastery. And lastly, it helps you become the best version of yourself. Because every day you're literally, when you're a disciplined individual, you're extracting the best and the most important information and the most important parts of yourself. So it helps you become the best that you can be. How do you become more disciplined? Like I said earlier, get closer to God. That's the main and the focus, because when you're closer to God, actually you go to the next slide real quick, T. I'll read it. 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. But he will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it.
That's right.
Amen.
Always has been one of my favorite verses. But this is one of my favorite verses because God provides us a way out of every situation. He provided me a way out of my drinking situation, right? But see, this is the way I look at it. Because if you're not connected with God, God provided a way out. Because I know you're thinking, think back to a time where you did something and you regretted it, right? You may not think God provided a way out, but God for sure provided a way out. But if you are connected to God, then you didn't see the land that he provided for you to get out of. Or, 2, you are connected with God. You did see the avenue out, because there's times where you do see, I can get out of this situation, but I just want this donut right now, or I just want this man right now, I want to lay down with this person right now.
All right.
And you still choose to do that.
Come on, speak the truth.
Yeah.
Speak the truth, man.
Make it plain for us, Tate.
Get closer to God. God will help you in all those situations, I promise you. I mean, if it's like, I don't want to eat donuts, pray to him, talk to him about it. 2, know your weaknesses. This is very important because a lot of people don't like to confront where their issues are. We have issues. We all have problems. I have big problems. But we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. I'm talking about look yourself deep into your eyes and your soul, just like you would look somebody else in their eyes. Look at yourself in the mirror and be real with yourself. Because until you're real with yourself and understand what your weaknesses are, you can't confront them and you can't get over them.
Amen.
3, remove temptation. Like I said, if you're somebody who likes to eat donuts, remove the donuts. Okay, remove the temptation. I was listening to a conference by Eric Thomas, and Eric Thomas was saying, when he goes to these conferences, they're at seminars all day long, he's meeting people, and there's friends, and all the women are dressed up nice, right? But see, at the end, they have like a ball where they drink and they socialize, they kind of have fun. And so he started walking back to the room, and another guy reached out and said, "Hey, Eric, where you going?" So I'm going back to my room. He said, "You're not going to come drink and have some fun with us?" For what? You see all the beautiful women over there? Why would I put myself in that situation knowing how weak I am right now?
All right.
I got a wife at home. I'm about to go FaceTime her.
Right.
Remove yourself from the temptation. We're weak and we have to understand that. Give yourself a backup plan. There's a concept called implementation intention where, you know, again, I'm going to keep going back to this donut situation. If you want to eat donuts, and like I said, I like to eat candy at night. And so instead of eating candy, it's hard to just get off of candy. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to just get off of it. So implement something else. Eat a yogurt instead, chips instead, Cheetos instead, something else to make sure your mouth is still going, but it's something else that's going to get your mind off of what you really want to do. Reward yourself. It's important to reward yourself. If you go a week from waking up early and getting to the gym, then when you get to that Saturday, reward yourself. Sleep in. Pat yourself on the back. Take a hike, like whatever you feel is important of a reward yourself, because positive reinforcement, even to yourself, is very, very, very important. And then lastly, forgive yourself and move on. If a lot of people, you know, and I talked with a friend recently about this, but a lot of people, they'll go through something, and like I said, let's say we're waking up every day at 5, and we're trying to be disciplined in that, okay? And by Wednesday, you miss it, you sleep through your alarm. On Thursday and Friday, get back to waking up at 5. Don't just say, well, the week is over, I'll start back next Monday. That's how we get lost. Forgive yourself, it's okay, we all make mistakes. Forgive yourself and move on. Can I have everybody stand up real quick?
All right, Nate.
Come on, great Nate.
This discipline stuff is no joke. Like I said, this is literally life and death. And I say that because literally if you implement discipline in your life, there's nothing in the world that you can't accomplish. People who know me personally know that the only reason why I feel like I may not be successful is because there's so many things in this world I want to do because there's nothing I feel like I can't accomplish.
That's right.
Because of the concept of self-discipline. If you discipline yourself, you can do anything.
Yes.
Let's pray. Lord, I want to thank you for this congregation. I want to thank you for every single person that's in this building. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I pray that the words that were spoken today resonates with everybody in this building. I hope they take one piece of what's going on here and implement them into their life. So they can grow, they can prosper, but more importantly, they get close to you. And that's the first discipline that they should learn, is to be disciplined with you. Wake up every morning to pray to you. Wake up every morning to read their Bible. Understand who you are. Understand who your son, Jesus, was. But I pray for everybody in here because everyone can live the life that they really want to live by adding discipline, starting with you,
Yes.
and it will trickle down to every other area of your life. I love you. We love you. And at all times, amen.
Amen.
Let's move the